Hello. In this video, we will be going through Pilates, yoga releases that will be back friendly. You'll still need to listen to your body, and if it doesn't feel right, please don't do it. But in general, they will be very back friendly. So I hope you enjoy. Do have to remind you before we start that you're exercising entirely at your own risk. So please, like I just said, do listen to your body. And once again, whenever something doesn't feel right, or you feel you need to modify or maybe do your own alternative that you know suits you, please do at any time. So let's begin. Could I ask you to lay down? I'm going to turn the other way around because I believe I'm going to be in my video clearer. So once we've laid down, I'm going to get you to just think about how your back feels, how your body in general feels, and just notice we'll work from the feet up, whether your feet are spread out, with your toes spread out, how you naturally place the weight on your feet, ball, side, heel. Feel how much of a bend you've got in your knee, and notice if you naturally place your legs in a position where you can relax and release your hips. Then working up to the buttocks, noticing if you've got equal weight on both sides and if the buttocks are down on the floor. Thinking of your lower back, noticing how much of an arch there is. You might even feel underneath. So we're not adjusting, we're just being aware. And then observing the rib cage, noticing how much of the ribs are in contact, and just taking notice of the bottom rib in particular, whether that is in contact with the mat. So if we move up to the upper back, seeing if the shoulders are rounding forward or if they're naturally opening. And then just noticing the weight in the upper arm is the same on both arms and whereabout on the upper arm it may be. Moving to the lower arm, noticing if you're rolling out, rolling in. Then moving to the hands, noticing if you're clenching them or if your fingers are spaced out. Then thinking of the neck, deciding if it feels cramped in, open, released. Then noticing whether the jaw is relaxed or whether you're clenching your teeth. Noticing your cheeks, whether they're relaxed. Observing how you feel around the eyes. Noticing if there's tension, if you're squinting your eyes up. And then bringing your awareness to the forehead. Once again, noticing if you're relaxed or if you're frowning. So the first step before we can ever make changes is to be aware of how we may be. And once we have awareness, then we can work with that. So well done with your scan down your body. So I'm going to get you to bring your legs one at a time in towards you. We're going to hold underneath the thighs. Now as we hold, I'd like you to lengthen and make the back really weighty. So feel more weight in the back of the head. Feel more weight in your shoulders. Feel more weight in the upper and middle back. And also feel more weight in the pelvis. So we're not overly hugging the legs in, we're just allowing the back to be long and have weight. Just breathing comfortably. And when we want to release more, we want to relax more here, you can breathe deeper into the belly. But we're not going to overthink the breathing. So then we're going to straighten the legs out. If this doesn't feel good, partially straighten as you're extending your legs. We're going to move up a little bit more, so I'm more in the video. And in this extended position, we're going to extend the arms overhead as well. In this extended position, focusing on length through the spine. So we can lengthen the arms and the legs, but we're prioritizing the spine. And also, as well as length through the spine, try and get length through the sides of the body. Then once you've done that, we're going to bend the legs and bring the arms out, probably to crucifix style. We're going to roll the legs to the side. If your back's niggling, you might do a small roll either side. And when you have more stability through the spine, the pelvis, you might increase. Otherwise, gently roll your legs to the side. And feel how you're releasing through the hip flexor. So often these hip flexors pull tight and can pull the spine and the pelvis and cause back discomfort. So gentle releases like this are key. So gently moving to the other side. None of these exercises should cause any pain. So we're releasing down the hip. We're also releasing the side and the back. So it should feel pleasant. Returning back to center. So those 3 exercises we have just done, if you've been sitting a long time and you can get up, move to the floor, will really help to release tight areas and correct posture after sitting. From here though, we're going to focus next on shoulder bridge. But before we go into shoulder bridge, we're going to do a few pelvic tilts. So bending the legs in a little bit more so the feet are roughly under the hips. Weight even through the feet. And then as we do the pelvic tilt, we'll use the out breath to tilt and bring the weight more on the inside and in breath to release. So these are small movements. So we're going to tilt in the center and release. Once again, no pain. So we could also tilt towards the sides, either side. And sometimes this really helps to loosen up if there's discomfort. So we're staying with pelvic tilts as long as we choose. And when we've done a few to the side, it's important that we go back to the middle and assess. Because primarily, we do want to work in the middle, but if we need to loosen things up, then we might go to the side in between. So we're going to move to the shoulder bridge and do a small range of movement. So breathing in to prepare, and we're using our thoracic breathing now. So using your thoracic breathing, breathing wide and full, pressing more on the inside of the foot, coming up just small range of movement. So still using that thoracic breathing, spreading the load out on the feet, pointing your knees forward. Feeling the weight in the back of the shoulders, knowing that you can relax your jaw, your throat. When you feel ready, we're going to return on the out breath, so bring the weight, or check the weight is more on the inside of the foot, roll down bone by bone. Repeating that, and we might come up a little bit higher. holding for what suits you. Now, you might find that you have areas in your spine that possibly come up as clumps. So it would be beneficial to you to work through, slow down, work through those areas, providing there wasn't any pain. So I'm going to roll down again. And I'm going to repeat this. And I feel ready to come up just a little bit higher this time. So pubic bone in the middle, lengthening away through the knees. Breathing wide and full across the back, the sides of the back, without any force. And when we do this thoracic breathing, it allows us to have the control through the midsection. So you'll notice as I hold here, I'm not pushing my tummy out. There'll be little movement, but not much. So we're going to do that once more through. And the beauty of using the video is if there's any places that you would like to spend a little bit longer, you can just pause and do a few more repetitions. So keeping the knees in line with the second and third toe. You'll feel that you're strengthening up your posterior chain, the muscles in the rear of the body, rolling down on the out breath. So if we think of the muscles in the rear of the body, they tend to get less work, especially if you've got a sitting down job. So it's good to strengthen them. So now we've done that, let's hug one leg in towards us. And even when we're ready, extend the other leg. Just gently hugging in. Feel length in the spine. Now the leg that's straight, really lengthen through that leg, keeping the pelvis level, keeping the pubic bone center. Let's switch sides gently. So bringing the knee in and then extending the opposite leg. And once we've settled, begin to lengthen away through that leg a little bit more. Being aware how the pelvis is. Releasing when you're ready. So we're going to take the feet hip distance and the arms out to the side, and we're going to roll the legs side to side. So nice and gentle, relaxing the shoulders. So if your back is niggling, do keep with the gentleness of it. But if you feel ready to progress, you could bring your legs to tabletop. Open shoulders, lengthen the spine, using that thoracic breathing. And we can roll the legs side to side. And when we feel ready, we can turn and look towards the hand, the opposite hand to where the knees are going. Still keeping the shoulders grounded. Reminder, legs up or legs down. So doing a couple more here. And then let's straighten those legs and extend those arms. You might be able to straighten your arms out more than me. My settee's in the way. But I'm still thinking of lengthening through my torso, lengthening through the sides of my body, and then radiating out more through the arms and then through the legs. Let's bend the legs, bring the arms round, and we're going to roll the shoulders and the hips again like we did before. And when we're ready, we're going to roll the shoulders and the hips together side to side. So this could be done with the feet low or higher. It's almost as if you was rolled up inside a carpet. The aim is to be able to roll your shoulders and your hips the same amount as we move from side to side. So let's do a couple more here. And when we transition in life and in classes, it's good practice to roll your shoulders and hips together. From here, let's push ourselves up to a seated position. So let's bend the legs and lengthen the spine. I'd like you to just pay attention to how you're sitting. Can you feel your sit bones? Are you comfortable sitting up tall? Is your chin a little bit back? Is your chin a bit retracted, or are we pushing the chin out? So many of us, because we're having a lot of screen time, have got very used to pressing our chin out. So more than ever, we need the awareness of pressing the chin back. So from here, we're going to, if we're comfortable, bring the thumbs to the sternum and begin to rotate side to side from the thoracic part of the back where the ribs attach. If this isn't such a good position for us, we could be in a kneeling position or even standing. We could be in high kneeling because you can't see so well in my video. I'm going to sit back into my heels. But we want the spine in its natural curves rotating. So I'm just going to reinforce that. We want to do our thoracic back rotations. We can be seated, kneeling or standing, but we want to be able to move this part of the back with control. So the more we quieten down the shoulders and the arms, the more able we're going to be able to move from this area. So let's do a couple more here. And when you're ready, let's take a box position. So hands under the shoulders. See if you can spread out the hands, the fingers, knees under the hips. Now I'd like you to be aware of right hand, right knee, and then left knee, left hand. Keep light control through that midsection. And when you're ready, begin to make a circle. So right knee, right hip, left knee, left hand. Making a circle, nice and juicy, as opposed to being more oval. Keeping the head up in line. And after you've done a few repetitions, let's reverse the direction. So we're mobilizing. After you've done a few repetitions, sitting and circling through the wrist and then reversing. You might need to just take some more recovery from your wrist or back into box position when you're ready. So elongating the spine, we're going to take a cat stretch and then release. So on an out breath, begin to curl the tailbone under and subtly look between the legs. Feel that you're broadening across the back and then gently release when you're ready. So out breath, look between the legs and then gently release. So as we gently release, just making sure that we're not crunching up through the neck or the shoulders. So curling the tailbone under. And as we gently release, you might think about lifting your sternum more towards the nose. So as always, if you feel discomfort in any part, rein in the movement or take another option. So let's do a couple more here. Finding neutral And if you feel you need to take recovery and circle your wrists around, please do. So in this neutral position with the right leg, we're going to extend it, and it'll be the toes down, pushing back through the ball foot, pushing back through the heel, and observe the stability of the pelvis, releasing when you're ready. So taking the other leg back, pubic bone in the center. So you're hooking your toes under, you're pushing back through the ball foot and the heel, releasing when you're ready. So smooth transitions on the release, being able to keep your back still and your hips level. So you might find after you've set this up, as you keep your hips level, you can raise the leg, returning when you're ready. So feel how you push back through the foot, raising if you choose. So as we raise, the back is in neutral. We avoid overarching the back. You can, if you're ready, extend that arm out, shoulders level, returning when you're ready. So let's do one more on each side. And once you've done that, we're going to ease the hips back, take the forehead down, and feel length in the spine. Some of us might choose to sit back further, but in the position you choose, please have the neck long. So there's a space between each and every vertebra in the spine. And then if we think outwards, we're opening across the shoulders, we're broadening across the back. So if we pay attention to where our ribs are, think of the contents inside the ribs, all our vital organs, and rather than just let them weigh heavy into the front of the ribs, feel that they're lifting up more towards the back of the body, supporting, feeling the difference. So when we're ready, we're going to lay on the tummy. We're going to have the pubic bone down, and we're going to bend the knees out and take the heels together. Just find length in the spine. Openness through the shoulders. So you're tuning into breathing, really lengthening head to tailbone. Now you might choose to stay with this, or you can extend the legs. Bring the arms by the side, so we're going to take it into the dart. So tune into that thoracic breathing where you've got that light control through the middle. Keep the shoulders open, providing you're not forcing. Breathe in to prepare, and if you feel ready, lift your head, shoulders, and possibly some of your chest. Breathe in, lower down. So slightly sliding your shoulder blades down and in. So we have many muscles working a little, but avoiding allowing any muscles to overtake. So completely comfortable in the lower back. There isn't any crunching. So a couple more repetitions. And as I mentioned earlier, if you feel you'll benefit from doing a few more repetitions on any exercise, please just pause and do a few more. So we're going to push through the hands and ease back. So I'm going to ask you to sit back into a puppy pose or child pose. While you're doing that, I'm just changing my direction so that I can show you a really, really nice release using the settee. So you'd lay on your tummy, and as before, you'd bend your knees out. You could be here if you didn't have a settee, or if you know you've got a settee, you'd maneuver yourself back, lay on the tummy, and just rest your legs on the settee so I can maneuver myself back even further. What this does for us, it helps to open up through the hip flexors. So we're just going to stay here a little while. Just check you're relaxing. You can breathe deeper into the belly if you choose. So this should feel nice. So when we come out of this, do you remember how we roll shoulders and hips together? So when you're ready, bring your underneath arm a little tighter and roll onto your side. So now we're going to return up to a seated position with the legs. We're going to have about 90 degrees. And we're going to take the hand beside us, find length through the spine. See if you can open your shoulders more. Extend. So we can stay here, or if we feel ready, we're going to keep length, but add rotation. I often find I need to slightly adjust that so that I've got space in between each and every vertebra in my back. So notice, observe the openness in the shoulders, how the shoulders are relaxed. You're lightly, very lightly pressing down into the hands, so you're supporting your upper body. So from here, we're going to release, and we're going to take our legs to the other side, please. Right angle, just make sure you're comfortable. Hand beside. So remember, in that line we have nose, sternum, navel, pubic bone, finding the openness. So these underneath ribs, as opposed to slouching, collapsing, they need just to be lifted up in line. So as before, we can stay here or we can add rotation. Please get in the habit before you rotate to find length, to check for length, and then rotate. And if you feel you need to just adjust your hands, please do. So I caught myself then poking my chin out, especially as I'm doing the video, looking, just checking. So please be aware of that if you're doing the videos. Look when you need to, and then adjust when you don't. Releasing in your own time. Let's take a box position again. So we're going to repeat the cat stretch. And you can have the hands and the knees in the same position. Or you could walk opposite hand to leg forward. Lengthen the spine. And when you're ready, let's repeat the cat stretch and gently release. So as you release, we can ease that sternum towards the nose if it feels good. So we're going to do about 4 on each side. Remember, these are just suggestions. You can go back to the more familiar if you choose. So once you've done 4, we just walk the other hand and leg forward. Lengthen fast and then curl under when you're ready. And then gently release. Curling, tailbone under. So once you've done that, let's bring the hands back, and we're going to walk the hands back and come up to a standing position. So what you would need to do is ground the heels, feel you've got connection with the feet, the sit bones, keeping your legs bent as you need to, and then when you're ready, gently rolling up. I'm just going to turn my video around, so gently rolling up while I turn my video around. So we started laying. Now we're going to have some standing mobility. So having your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Let's begin to take a figure of 8 movement over the ankles. So light control through the middle, but not so rigid that we can't flow with the movement. So I'm sure you've done these with me before, and these are lovely to do, so slot in throughout the day, possibly while we're waiting for the kettle to boil, or if you've had to sit down for too long, you get up, and it just doesn't feel nice, and you don't want to lay down to do your releases, you could do this instead. So nicely mobilizing. You can add in the shoulder, or sometimes if I feel less supple, I just have my hands on my hips, and I might not be moving that much, but just listening, doing what your body needs at the time. Other times I love extending my arms overhead, and I bring this figure of 8 shape more to the ribs. So there isn't right and wrongs. It's a case of getting to know your body more, being kind to it, and learning the strategies that make it feel really good. So doing a couple more here, and then releasing the arms, bringing your feet underneath the hips. Just observe how you're standing through the feet. So ideally, we want to spread the weight out evenly and feel a connection with the sit bones, a connection with the core, and elongate through the spine. And then when you're ready, we're going to side bend. So this movement is just coming from the ribs. We want to be able to extend the back. We want to be able to flex the back, side bend and rotate. However, if you have osteoporosis, we tend to do less flexion because we're already getting a little bit flexed over anyway. So we have to take care when we do flexion and also rotation. So to this, we could add a reach. So think of the side we're reaching. Try and make more space between that ear and the heel. That's going to help to prevent the other side over flexing. So it's going to help spread the load out. Reaching more through the fingers, driving down more through the heel. So a couple more either side. And then let's keep the hips still, but begin to pedal through the feet. I'd like you to observe the levelness of the hips, the pubic bone center. We're after the stability through the pelvis. You might add in the toy soldier arms, knowing that you're lifting inside the ribs, lifting the heart as opposed to slouching, keeping your gaze horizon level. A couple more here. Lengthening the back, spreading the load out. Taking Lots of bend in the knee, and let's begin to rotate. So in these spine rotations, as we transfer from foot to foot, it feels lovely and springy. And yet we're able to keep the hips still. The hips level. So a couple more here. So providing we haven't got osteoporosis, we're going to take a couple of roll downs. Have the weight spread out evenly on the feet. We're going to bend the knees generously. So no one's going to do this with straight legs. Take the chin nearer the chest, but there isn't any collapsing in the middle. And then we're just going to roll down. You might have the hands on the legs, or you might go lower and rest the hands on the floor. This also does depend, obviously, how long your arms are. So don't be disappointed if your arms don't get that far. So when we come up, use the out breath. Bring your weight more on the inside of the feet. Anchor the tailbone down and allow yourself to roll up through the spine. Coming up all the way, opening and releasing the shoulders, the jaw. So gazing to the horizon, and let's begin to take the head side to side. One more here. So from here, we're going to take extension. So transferring the weight to one foot, and we're going to take the leg a little bit back. Use light control through the middle. So with the opposite arm, let's extend it up. Let's radiate out from the center and extend the same arm out to the side. So keeping light control and then lengthening out in all directions, keeping the hips level. Releasing when you're ready. So we're going to transfer the weight to the other foot and take the foot back. Light control through the center as we keep the hips level. Opposite arm raises. I just had to check there myself that my toes were forward. I was nice and square. Extend the arms out and just feel how you radiate out. You're grounded through the foot. Your ball foot's down. You're radiating out from the center, relaxing your shoulders, and then gently releasing. So we're going to do that once more on each side. And if we choose, we can raise the leg a little, providing we're not crunching in the back, so we're comfortable with the back. So having the feet in the optimum distance, taking the foot back. So it's your ball foot. To begin with, you extend, you open, and maybe you lift, radiating out. Releasing when you're ready, spreading the low down, and then taking the other foot back, opposite arm up, lengthening, reaching through those fingers. Here, strong through the center, raising the leg if you choose. Returning when you're ready. So once again, let's be generous with the knee bend. And then a nice springy rotation. So as always, height before you rotate. A couple more either side. And then finding your neutral. So our neutral will be where it's minimum effort in the front and the rear side of the body to stand effortlessly tall. So all the areas of your body are effortlessly supporting each other. You'll be gazing to the horizon. So if you're too much to attention, you need to soften. If you're slouching, you need to prop up a little to find in between the two extremes. I hope you enjoyed that. That's quite different to possibly some that we've done before. So give it a go and please let me know how you get on. Thank you.